Welcome back to the Midnight Who Show, and today we are going to find out if Macra really do exist. Because, of course, the Macra Terror has finally been released on DVD here in the States. I'll talk today about, of course, my thoughts on, the story itself, and, of course, the animation. So, first, let's take a look at the DVD. The DVD on top, of course, the Doctor Who logo, the Macra Terror, and then you have a picture of the animated second Doctor, with, of course, the Macra in the background. And this is, of course, a 2-disc DVD set. There's, of course, the spine, Doctor Who, the Macra Terror. So yes, it will look a little out of place on the classic Doctor Who DVD shelf. So, of course, Doctor Who, Macra Terror DVD. On the back, you've got, of course, all the information about this episode. Lost since its first airing in the UK over 50 years ago. It's been animated in color and black and white. And, of course, there are some images from the episode itself. And some special features. Audio commentary, episode reconstruction, mini-episode of The Wheel in Space first episode, animation taste, and a whole bunch. Animatics, animation gallery, teaser trailer, alternate black and white presentation, 1992 audio presentation, surviving footage, behind-the-scenes film, censored scenes, title sequence, photo gallery, and production paperwork. A bunch of other information. Opening this set up is very simple. You just have 2 discs with the same image on there, of course, of the Doctor and the Macra. So they both have special features on the disc, but this disc has, of course, color on it. And this disc, of course, has the black and white presentation. Let's start off, of course, with the animation, and I was really impressed. I think there is definitely a huge improvement over, of course, the Power of the Daleks and even Shada. A lot of the movements in the characters were a little bit better, a lot more improved, and of course, there was still a few moments, I will say, where it was not the best animation. There's a few weird moments, but besides that, pretty impressed by it. Now, I will say with this kind of animation though, you can definitely tell the animators took a little bit more creative freedom. Now, of course, they did omit some scenes. There's some scenes from the first episode that they decided not to animate. They decided to, of course, so with that, they kind of changed a few things. And, of course, the Macra. The Macra look vastly different in this animation. They are, no longer looking like a puppet. They're a lot more creepy in this animation, bigger. Of course, now because they have legs, and they can have a lot more Macra. Because I was reading a little bit about the Macra Terror, they didn't really have that many Macra props. So in this animation, there's a lot of Macra. Really like the creepiness of the Macra in this animation. And of course, the backgrounds on this, they really expanded a little bit, I think, with this kind of city and the colony. I think they did a really great job. Now, of course, let's bring it into the faces of the Doctor and his companions. There's a few moments, I think the animation to the character design looks a little bit off, but I really do think they did a really good job with capturing the look of Ben, Polly, Jamie, and the Doctor. So overall, I really did enjoy this animation, and it's definitely worth a watch. Definitely a very worthy addition to the Doctor Who animations. So let's start with a review of this episode. So of course the Doctor, Ben, Jamie, and Polly arrive at a seemingly very happy human colony where there's everyone's kind of just having a great time. There's music playing, and they're all controlled, very regulated. They're when they work, when they sleep, all that stuff. But of course, there's some very sinister things happening in the colony. Of course, because there's all the saying, there is no such thing as the Macra. The Doctor soon finds out that there's something definitely not right. He soon investigates it with Medoc, who's basically a person who's kind of in trouble because he might be seeing things that he should not be seeing. And we slowly start to see that the colony is controlled by the Macra. Because we find out the controller is not a human controller, it's a Macra controller. So now, of course, before they find that out, though, the controller says we must get the Doctor and his companions ready to be a worthy part of our colony. So, of course, there's some sinister voices seeping into their little sleeping quarters. And, of course, Ben falls victim to that. Of course, Ben does. But Jamie and Polly, they are safe. And it's very weird when I first saw the story to kind of see, this Ben being controlled by this force. You can kind of see glimpses of how he's trying to fight it, but it's very tough because he's now seeing there's good for the colony. After Jamie and Polly get sent to the mines, where the Doctor soon discovers the Macra. Overall, I really enjoyed this story of Doctor Who. It's very good. I love these kind of this just base under siege. It's definitely that, but also it's just kind of interesting to see this human colony that basically gets controlled by the Macra to basically do their bidding, to do their work. They're like, whoa, let's just let the humans mine for this poisonous gas which can kill them, but we can get it. And, there's just nothing, no one seems to be a problem because, of course, to the controller, they're saying there's no such thing as Macra, and they control anyone who's trying to start thinking that there is such a thing as Macra. It's a very kind of creepy at times story, and I really like that. Of course, you get to see a very interesting side of one of the Doctor's companions, of course, Ben, when he gets controlled, and you kind of feel really bad for Ben because it's like, oh no, he fell victim to this, and now they're kind of having to fight against him. I also really think there is one really good scene. I really laughed at one scene, and of course, the Highland Fling, when Jamie kind of did a little dance there. That was a hilarious scene. But yeah, overall, I really enjoyed the Macra Terror and the animation. They did a really good job with it. And yeah, and I really liked how on the DVD they did include a bunch of special features that you can view alternate ways to watch the story. Of course, they have the episode reconstruction and just the audio recordings. So there's many ways to experience the Macra Terror and to finally prove that Macra really do exist. So of course, tell me your guys' thoughts on the story in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye everyone.